Why is your ex an ex? My girlfriend and I were together for just about 7 years when we split up last week. I have known her since the 5th grade and every moment I spent with her were the best moments of my life so far. We did everything together. We were inseparable. It was literally like something out of a movie. After our first date, we spent 29 days in a row together the summer of our junior year going into our senior year of high school. Things were always great until a very pivotal moment. I will preface this by saying I am an idiot hopeless romantic and that will be my downfall in life. We had both since graduated high school and had been living together happily for about a year when she came to me out of the blue with some news. She said her dad got a job offer out of state that paid really well and her parents and younger sister were thinking about moving. I said, I would be very happy for your dad if he decided to take it. Her response was to ask if I would ever consider moving and I immediately said no. I didn't understand why we would move with her parents when we already had our own place. She was highly considering moving and thinking back now, I am sure she was always planning on it no matter what. I came to a crossroads and had to make a huge decision. Move out of state for the first time and be away from my friends, family, and job. My whole life basically. Or I could stay and watch the love of my life pack up and leave forever while I moved back into my parents' basement. Everything I knew would change, but I was so in love with her I couldn't picture my life without her for even a minute. I decided that after a lot of thought and stress that I would move. After we moved I became very depressed. I hated it there. I didn't have a good job anymore, I didn't know anyone, I didn't have any friends and my family wasn't there. Her family was tough and we spent basically every weekend at their house and it was becoming too much for me to handle. We didn't have our own life anymore. It was now our life elsewhere with her parents. I was dealing with a lot at the time and I wasn't handling it properly. I tried to just stick it out for a while and learn to adjust to my new life. We lived there for about 2 years when I got a phone call from my dad one Saturday. I couldn't answer right away but he tried calling back immediately after so I thought it was urgent and picked up. He told me over the phone that my younger brother had just ended himself. My whole world shattered. My brother and I were super close before I moved and when I did leave we drifted apart. He was experimenting a lot with substances and wasn't taking care of himself. He stopped calling me and wouldn't answer the phone after a while. I still to this day hold a lot of blame over myself for not being there. I felt like I abandoned him when I moved and things would be different now if I stayed. When he died, I decided to move back home to spend time with my family. My girlfriend was about finished with getting her associate's degree. Both of us had been working full-time and she was getting her school finished at the same time so it was taking a while for her even though she was busting butt. Not enough hours in the day. We found out that if she moved with me right away, something like 9 credits wouldn't transfer so we agreed that she should stay and finish school and move later on. We would only be apart for about 5 months. Easy. For some reason, every time I asked about her school, it seemed like her finishing date would get pushed back further and further. Fast forward to this month and it had already been a year with no end in sight. I was always worried about being long distance but I was willing to do anything to make it work so I could be with her because I saw a real future with her. We talked about marriage and having kids and everything together. As time went on, I felt like I had to fight harder and harder for her attention. She was so busy with work, school, family, friends, working out and so on that I was just no longer a part of her daily life. We used to Skype, set aside time to have phone calls, send each other pictures and have fun with each other. All that just kind of faded after a while. I tried to talk to her about it and tell her that being long distance was hard for me at this crucial point in my life and I just needed more from her. Her only response was, I don't know what you want me to do. I ultimately ended up telling her that we shouldn't be together anymore because she had her new life totally established with a great job, which was becoming her career, her own apartment, her family nearby and she was already doing school. I just wasn't a priority anymore. It was so hard to let her go but I knew that she would end up living out a better life where she is now than she ever would with me. It is absolutely destroying me and I still believe that I will never have anything like I did with her and I am not sure if I will ever be able to get over it. I feel like everything good in my life I used to have is now gone and I just don't know who I even am anymore.